How to form an LLC in Washington. When starting a new company, choosing a business entity is one of the most important decisions that you make. For most businesses with more than one founding member, forming an LLC is often the best option. Before we begin, let's quickly define what an LLC is. An LLC stands for Limited Liability Company and is an uncomplicated business structure that gives business owners legal protection by separating personal assets from business debts. However, creating an LLC can get complicated depending on where you're based, as the process differs from state to state. To avoid any missteps, follow along as we show you how to form an LLC in Washington. The first step in forming an LLC is to select a name. Washington has two naming guidelines. 1. Your LLC's name must contain one of the following phrases or abbreviations: Limited Liability Company, Limited Company, LLC, or LLC. 2. Your LLC's name must be distinguishable from the names of existing businesses on file with the Washington Secretary of State. After selecting a name for your LLC, you can reserve it with the Washington Secretary of State. To do this, first, search for your chosen business name in Washington by performing a business search. 2. Then file a name reservation with the Secretary of State by postal mail to reserve a name for up to 180 days. Note that reserving a name has a fee. Check the description below for more details. Step 2. Designate a registered agent. Like most U.S. states, forming an LLC in Washington requires appointing a registered agent service. A registered agent is an individual or a company that acts as your official point of contact in the state to receive legal documents, service of process, and other official communications from the state. It is their job to forward these documents and communications to your LLC in a timely manner. A registered agent also helps save time mailing documents and keeps your address and other personal information private. Your registered agent must meet the following requirements. 1. Must be a state resident with a street address in Washington. 2. Have a business office in Washington if located out of state. Check out the description below for recommended registered agent services that can guide you through this entire process. Step 3. File a certificate of formation. An LLC is officially formed in Washington by filing a certificate of formation with the Secretary of State. The certificate of formation must provide the following details: LLC's name and principal office address, the effective date of LLC formation, duration of LLC, registered agent name, mailing address, and signature, the signatures of the LLC executor. You can file online or by mail. Note that there is a fee. Check the description below for more details. Next is to create an operating agreement. An operating agreement does the following: describes your business structure, establishes the individual responsibilities and obligations of your LLC members, details how the LLC will be run. Although Washington doesn't require one, an operating agreement clarifies the specific duties of its members, which may help your LLC avoid significant legal and operational difficulties. Step 5. Get an EIN. Before your company is ready to start doing business, you must obtain an IRS Employer Identification Number, EIN, by applying on the IRS website. The 9-digit EIN is like a social security number for a business and is necessary for things like paying income tax, filing tax returns, opening a business bank account. You can apply for an EIN on the IRS website. Finally, make sure to complete all additional legal requirements. File annual reports. All LLCs active in Washington must file an annual report with the Secretary of State. The first report is due within 120 days of an LLC's formation. The following reports are due each year at a date set by the Secretary of State. You can file reports online or by mail. File taxes. Washington LLCs that collect sales tax and those that generate $12,000 or more in annual revenue must register with the Washington Department of Revenue to fulfill tax obligations. Acquire business licenses. Most LLCs in Washington State need to obtain a business license. Find out the exact requirements for your LLC using the Washington Business Licensing Wizard. County and/or city business licenses might also be necessary. You can learn which licenses are necessary and obtain most local business licenses online at the Department of Revenue website or apply through the mail. So to sum it up, how to form an LLC in Washington. 1. Select a name. 2. Designate a registered agent. 3. File certificate of formation. 4. Create an operating agreement. 5. Obtain an employer identification number. 6. Fulfill your legal obligations, particularly relating to filing annual reports, registering with the Department of Revenue, and applying for business and local licenses you may need. By following these steps, you can form an LLC in Washington. All the websites mentioned earlier are located in the description below and a link to a guide. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out our other videos answering your questions to all things LLC.